So the Year 10 Higher Tier Test 2 Revision Booklet. £4,000 invested for 3 years at 3% compound interest. So if we use the standard new amount equals original amount times by a multiplier raised to a power of years formula that works for all percentages, we're trying to find out the new amount, so we'll call that X. We know the original amount is the £4,000 that was invested. The multiplier is going to be 3% added on to the full 100 he started with, but written as a decimal, so it's 103%, which is 1.03. And then number of years, 3 years. And we can just type that straight into a calculator as one calculation, and we find that the answer will be £4,370.91 to the nearest two decimal places, because we're looking at money. Be careful, the question asks what is his value of his investment, so this is the value of his investment. Be careful that it doesn't ask how much interest he earned, which would be a slightly different answer. So question number 2, this time a car is losing value, so it's the same principle. We can use the exact same formula, new amount equals original amount times 1 multiplier to the power of years. We're trying to find out the new amount because we're trying to find out how much it is at the end. The original amount this time is 17,000. If it's being losing value, that means that the multiplier is going to be 100% minus the 12, and again as a decimal, so 0.88. It's 3 years again, so it's to the power of 3. So 17,000 times 0.88 to the power of 3 is £11,585 and 2 pence. But be careful, the question says give your answer to the nearest £100. So to the nearest £100, this is £11,600. Question 3, tax. So 34,500 before tax. And then the first statement says there's no tax on the first 3,500. So we can take that 3,500 out, and that leaves us with 31,000 that can be taxed. Between 3,500 and 10,500, there's a 25% rate of tax. So there's a 25% rate that's going to be included, and then there's the 35% rate. Now we've got to split this 31,000 into the relevant sections. So between 3,500 and 10,500, there's £7,000 in there which can be taxed at 25%. So the first £7,000 that's taxed is at 25%, and then everything that's left, so in this case 24,000, will be taxed at 35%. Find these two percentages and we can add them together to find out the total tax. So 25% of 7,000 is 1,750. And then 35% of 24,000 is 8,400, and we can add them together to find the total tax paid, which is £10,150. Question number 4, gas bill. So 15,000 units, and they are 4.028 pence per unit. So I can work out the total cost of the units by doing 15,000 times 4.028. Now that's 60,420, but remember that's in pence, so if we divide by 100 we get that into pounds. There's a fixed charge of £6.98 per month, so if we do £6.98 times by 12 months, we'll find out what the fixed charge for the year is, and that's £83.76. And then there's a discount of £48 per year. So we're going to add these two together to find out how much is owed. So £604.20 plus £83.76. So he owes £687.96, but then he's got a discount of £48. So we can subtract that, which means he owes in total £639.96. And then it says the monthly payment, so we can do the 639.96, which is his annual payment, and we can divide that by 12 to find out how much he pays per month, which is £53.33 per month. So, more percentages. A TV, after being reduced, costs £384. So we can go back to the usual formula, new amount equals original amount times by multiplier. There's no years talked about, so we don't need the years. This time we do know the new amount. We know after the discount is £384. We don't know what it was before. If it's been reduced by 20%, that's a multiplier of 0.8, because the full 100% has been reduced by 20%. Now, if I've got x times 0.8 over here, to find x, I'm going to do 384 divided by 0.8, which will give me X. So that tells me that X is £480, so it was £480 before it was reduced. Next question works the same way. So new amount is original times by multiplier. Again, after being reduced, it was 520, so we know the price after the reduction. We're trying to find out what it was before, and this time the multiplier is going to be 0.65, and we can do 520 divided by 0.65 to find X. So 520 divided by 0.65, so it was £800 that car was before it was reduced. Remember to check your answers with these. If you're trying to find out what the price was before something's been reduced, make sure you end up with a number bigger than the price after it's reduced to check you've done correct. Arc length sector area, formula for arc length, theta divided by 360 times by pi times by diameter. That's not given to you in the exam, so make sure you remember it. So for this one, theta is the angle, 3 divided by 360 times by pi times by the diameter. Now this is a section of a circle where this is the centre. So 12 is the radius. So if I had the full circle, I'd have a diameter of 24. And then you can just type that into your calculator in one go, and you find that it's 12.57 to 2 decimal places the length of the arc. Second one says work out the area of the sector. So for the area, the formula is theta divided by 360 times pi r squared. This time we're talking about area. So theta is 80. 80 divided by 360 times pi, and the radius is 7. It's given to us. And then again, we can type that in on the calculator to find that the answer is 34.2084, and it says give your answer to 2 decimal places, so 34.21 centimetres squared is the area of that sector. So below is a sector of a circle with an area of 30 centimetres. So this time it tells me there's a sector area of 30. So I can use the sector area formula, which is theta over 360 times pi r squared is equal to area. This time we're working backwards slightly. I know that the area is 30, so I put 30 here. I'm trying to find theta, and then pi times 10 squared. There's two ways you can do this. You can either rearrange this to get theta on its own, or you can do all your multiplying this side with the pi, the 10 squared, and the divide by 360, and then move that over afterwards. So if we do it that way, we get theta over 360 times by 314.15 if we just do this bit. And then we can also do the divide, because multiplying and dividing can be done in any order. So we end up with 314.15 divided by 360, which gives us 0.87. I'm keeping the full display on my calculator all times, so I get 30 equals that. And then if this is times, so I can do 30 divided by 0.87. So again, keeping the full display on the calculator, this comes out as 34.378, which is, so theta equals 37 degrees if we go to the nearest degree. Last question, work out the area of the segment. So to find the area of a segment, I do the area of the whole sector. So I do the theta divided by 360 times pi r squared. And then I take away from it the area of the triangle. So I take away from it a half AB sine C. So for the sector area, I get 120 divided by 360 times by pi times by 5 squared. And I'm going to take away from that a half times 5 times 5 times the sine of 120. So this one, 120 divided by 360 times by pi times by 25. So this is 26.179 dot dot dot, and then the area of the triangle is a half times 5 times 5 times the sine of 120, which is 10.825, and so on. And then I can subtract those away from each other, and I find that the area of the segment that I want is 15.35 centimetres squared to the 2 decimal places that it was asking for.